Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Richman, a double board certified cardiothoracic surgeon. Today I'm going to talk to you about the different types of vaccines. But before I start, I want to make it clear that I don't want to hear anybody's opinion, not one, about a specific vaccine or a conspiracy theory. I'm presenting the facts to educate you. And yes, you are all entitled to your beliefs. However, when it comes to vaccine, most of the times they are not rooted in facts or truth. And that's all we care about. So any of these comments will be deleted because the intention, again, of this video is just to educate you. And hopefully it will encourage you to take a few minutes out of your day and to read and learn so you understand. Because remember, knowledge is power. And to be quite honest with you, I never really cared about what kind of vaccine I was getting. And I'm quite sure none of you ever did until this environment became extremely polarized, which we live in, and has permeated our daily lives. And I still really don't care. But what I do care about is that funding for mRNA vaccines has been basically wiped out, and this type of technology and these types of vaccines are really right now the only hope for preventing and treating certain diseases like cancer from a vaccine standpoint. Now, with that, let's talk about vaccines. They can be broadly categorized by how they present antigens, which is a foreign substance, to the immune system, with each type using a different strategy to induce protective immunity. First, live attenuated vaccines use weakened forms of the pathogen that can replicate but do not cause disease in healthy individuals. These closely mimic getting the natural infections. They stimulate strong, long-lasting immune responses, including both humoral, which is B cell, and cellular immunity, which are T cells. Examples of this include MMR, measles, mumps, rubella vaccines. However, they're contraindicated in immunocompromised patients, okay, because they're attenuated live vaccines. Next are inactivated vaccines, and they contain pathogens that have been killed by heat, chemicals, or radiation, so they cannot replicate. These vaccines are safer for immunocompromised individuals, but generally induce weaker immune responses than live vaccines, often requiring multiple doses and boosters. Examples include polio and hepatitis A vaccines. Next, subunit, recombinant, polysaccharide, and conjugate vaccine use specific pieces of the pathogen, such as proteins or sugars, to stimulate immunity. These vaccines are not infectious and have favorable safety profiles, but may require adjuvants to enhance the immune response, which means putting other things in there which are going to ramp your immune response. Examples include hepatitis B, HPV vaccine, which is a virus-like particle, and pneumonia, which is the pneumococcal conjugate vaccines. Next are toxoid vaccines, and they're made from inactivated bacterial toxins. They induce immunity against the toxin rather than the pathogen itself. Examples include, the tetanus shot, tetanus and diphtheria. Next are mRNA vaccines, and they deliver synthetic RNA encoding a pathogen like SARS-CoV-2 into the host cell, which then produce the antigen internally, prompting an immune response. mRNA vaccines are not infectious, do not integrate into host DNA, and can be rapidly developed and manufactured. They've been shown to induce robust humoral and cellular immunity, and this is seen in COVID-19 vaccines. Finally, there's viral vector vaccines, which use a harmless virus vector to deliver genetic material encoding the pathogen antigen into cells. The vector expresses the antigen, stimulating immunity. These can be replicating or non-replicating vectors. Examples of these include the Ebola and some of the COVID-19 vaccines. Okay, so we've gone through what's currently available. Wow, there are DNA vaccines in development, and they're promising. They're not widely used in humans, all right? And there's also something called virus-like particles and nanoparticles vaccines, which mimic the structure of viruses but lack genetic material, and they're highly immunogenic, and those are also being used, here and there. And technology has a while to go. But my intention today was to present the different types of vaccines. So maybe you'll pick up a book or go on the computer. God knows you probably won't pick up a book, but go on the computer and learn and see that, hey, okay, this virus, how is it any different than mRNA virus? Or how's this one safer than that one? And I've never had a problem, or I've had a problem. Okay. So with that, I hope you learned something today. Thank you so much for listening. For more information, guidance, or consultation, please go to my website, www.paladinmds.com, and have a great day.